Hey guys, put your socks on here. This is Battlefield 3 on the Xbox 360. Today we're going to talk about tanks and light armor on Operation Firestorm and Grand Bazaar. We're going to use tank map for Firestorm and Grand Bazaar for light armor. If you're new to tanks, Operation Firestorm is going to be a great map to work on just because of the availability of vehicles. You have 3 tanks on each side, so more likely than not you're going to be able to get into a tank. So currently, my loadout in the tank is thermal smoke, proxy scan, and guided shell. Since I have capable gunner in the hands of Gambit 10585, who's going to help us out with this video. He's going to be my gunner slash designator, and it's important in the tank to make sure that you have someone who knows what they're doing on the gun and the TV station if you have it unlocked. So let's say you're just starting out in the tank and you don't have guided shell and TV station unlocked yet. A good loadout for you is going to be thermal smoke, canister shells if you have them, or the LMG if you don't have canister shells. And let's say infrared is pretty good for picking off infantry. So you can use those while you try to rank up. So, effective way to use smoke, as you saw right there. You'll know when you're getting locked on because you see the words in the top left corner, lock, start blinking. That means that someone is trying to get a lock on you. Steady lock means that they have a lock on you. You're going to hear steady tone. Now when you hear the rapid tone, that means they've fired their guided shell or javelin or whatever they had locked on you. Now at that point, immediately stop the tank, fire smoke, stay in the smoke cloud until you see the guided shell blow up somewhere. It's probably going to be somewhere near you, or you see lock disappear. Make sure you don't fire the smoke and then continue to drive, because you might get far enough away from the smoke that the shell is still going to be locked onto you. Operation Firestorm is a great map to learn the tank on, since you can get into the Alpha checkpoint and Bravo checkpoints while in the tank, which is going to protect you from overhead attacks such as the helicopters and jets. Now right here we're going to try and pick off some guys on the roof. This is where you really need a gunner, because your main cannon isn't going to be that effective if they're standing at the edge, because what they're going to do is try and look over the edge, fire a shot off like this guy does, and then back off. Now Gambit was able to pick him off, so that was good, but that's why you need a gunner in these tanks. Now there's one more guy up there. He's going to be spawning his buddies, so we got to watch out for those two. And now we got a helicopter coming in too. So there's really nothing that you can do against the helicopter when it's firing unguided missiles at you, or if a gunner in the helicopter is shooting his gun at you. You pretty much gotta take it and hope that he passes over and you can repair before he makes another pass. Maybe try to get a lock on him. You saw early in the video, Gambit was able to get a lock on that helicopter, and I was able to fire off the guided shell, and we got a double kill, which is awesome. So I was able to revive Gambit, but I bit the bullet on that one, and the Havoc took me out. Now this map's almost over, so I'm going to get in the tank one more time and drive it from spawn, just so we can get a little more tank talk in before we go to Grand Bazaar and the light armor. So most important thing in the tanks, have a capable gunner, and you have to be in communication with them. You need to be able to tell them when to get out and repair you. If you're going to be the one running engineer kit and you're going to be the one repairing, you need to make sure that they know that when you get out, they switch over to the main. That's a really effective way. If you're in a tank battle with somebody and you get out to repair, make sure your gunner swaps over to the main seat. Also, one thing you might not know, the direction that you're looking is the way that you're going to get out of the vehicle. So let's say that you're the gunner and you have a tank in front of you and you need to get out the back to repair. Make sure you face the turret towards the back of the tank. That way you get out the back of the tank and you can avoid that fire, and then try and repair the tank in the back, not the front. Shoot in the front, the guy shooting the cannons at you, you're going to die, you're not going to be able to repair anymore, and then your tank's going to be gone. Another point in the tank is going to be, let's say you're trying to capture an objective. Your best bet is to take the back of your tank and back that into some kind of cover, say a wall or a jersey barrier or something like that, so that you can pretty much protect the back of your tank from RPG and small fire, because that kind of attack is going to be most effective if they can get to the back of your tank. So if you can pretty much get that against something, you're going to be protected from small fire and RPG fire to an extent. Still going to do damage in the front and the sides, but worst is getting hit in the back. Okay, now we're going to do some Grand Bazaar, and we're going to talk about the LAV and the BMP. They're pretty much the same thing. US side has the LAV, Russian side has the BMP, but they have the same unlock path and pretty much the same vehicle. Now you also have the BTR-90, but you're only going to see that on the Gulf of Oman map. If you try to drive that, you're going to notice it's a lot different driving. That's because instead of having a track like the LAV and BMP, it has wheels. So you're going to feel like you skid out a lot more. It's going to be a little bit different driving it. So you're going to have to get used to that, but as of now, I think the only map that you're going to have to worry about that on is Gulf of Oman. Maybe some of the expansion packs will add that vehicle to other maps, but for now, that's the only map that's going to have it on the console. This area here is a good area if you're going to try and plant mines against an LAV or BMP. Just because of all the rubble on the ground, it's going to be hard for a driver to spot a mine. Mines really do look like debris on the ground, so it's difficult to spot those if you put them in the right places. Try to avoid putting them in a line against the entire road, because those are really easy to spot. Plus, if a driver blows up one, it might just blow up the whole line, then he gets a lot of points for that, and it was pretty easy to get rid of them. So we're still going to have Gambit helping us out here. He's going to be my engineer. He had to repair me there. The best bet on Grand Bazaar is, if you get into the BMP or LAV, always take it to the checkpoint that is closest to the enemy spawn. Let your infantry guys on foot capture that checkpoint that's closest to your spawn, and just go for the one that's furthest away. If they have a newer, let's say newer, or noobish light armor driver, he's going to take his light armor directly to the closest checkpoint, and you're going to be able to catch him off guard, because most likely he's going to have the back facing out. So that's just always a good bet. You're going to be able to get a lot of kills that way, and more likely than not, while you're getting the checkpoint that's further away, the guys on foot are going to be able to get the checkpoint that was closest to you. Now all you have to really do is worry about Bravo, but you have both entrances covered, so you should be able to get it no problem. As you can see, we were able to get Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. Okay, now, finally lost the vehicle. I was able to get some kills on foot, cleared out Alpha. I see Charlie is blinking, so I'm going to head on foot over there. Still engineer class, still have the Javelin out. We got a Humvee, so I'm going to try and get a Javelin lock, see what I get. End up with a triple kill, that's always good. Humvees don't have the lock blinking words when you're driving like you do a tank. I know that the Vodnik, you're going to be able to hear the tone if you're getting a lock on, but I'm not sure about the Humvee. I think you're able to hear a lock on in the Humvee. You're not able to hear it in the buggy or Jeep, so that's always something you have to watch out for. Someone might try and get a Javelin off of you when you're driving a buggy, and you're not going to know if it's coming in or not. Okay, so I saw that BMP was back at the spawn, so I spawned to get it again. Now, if it's not available, don't spawn at the spawn and wait for it. Spawn in on one of your checkpoints, help your team out. It's always going to show back up. someone else might grab it, let them have a chance, see what they can do. Just, it's more important to get in there and keep trying to capture those objectives than it is to wait for the vehicle to spawn. Okay, now a little bit different loadout I run in the LAV and the BMP as opposed to the tank. I won't use the guided shell in the light armor just because there is no designation station in it, so what I'll use is the tow launcher, which is pretty effective against other light armor. It's usually going to be a one-hit disable, and then you can finish them off with the cannon. If you don't finish them off, you can always switch back to the tow launcher, which should be reloaded by then. What's nice about the tow launcher is that it's guided, or more correctly to say, it's wire guided, as in after you fire it, you can use the sights to aim it where you want to, which is good because let's say your enemy vehicle is moving, track him, and you're able to still hit him. But other than that, still use proxy scan, still use smoke. They're pretty effective because you're going to get javelin locks on you. Okay, we have all the objectives. We could spawn camp them, but that's not too fun. Keeping them at spawn, you're going to get kills, but the tickets are going to bleed slowly. And overall, you're probably going to have a lower score per minute, so give them a chance. Let them try and get alpha. I saw that Charlie was getting captured, so we go over to Charlie to see what's up over there, see if we can see a couple guys on proxy scan. Gambit gets out to get him on foot. I was able to pop him off before he was able to get him, so he hops back in. Make sure your gunner's not afraid to get out of the vehicle. Sometimes, even though you have proxy scan on, a support unit might be able to get close enough to plant C4 on you, so in the event he gets really close, it should be the gunner's job to get out and try and get him with his gun. And if he can't, there is a chance he might survive, and then you have to worry about one less death. Okay, they're capping Bravo right now. We're not going to take the BMP into the alleyway of Bravo. I mean, you can do that. Personally, I don't do it. It's not maneuverable at all, and easy to get stuck, easy target. I don't really think it's a viable strategy, just not really worth it. Okay, so Bravo's neutralized. Alpha, they're going for Alpha. We'll try and go in Alpha, see what's up. Proxy scan's going to be able to help us so we can know where these guys are hiding behind cars and stuff like that. We had one over there, was able to get him. And try and capture the objective. See those mines right there? That's not an effective strategy for mines. Those are going to be easy for the enemy to spot. They're in a bright area, no debris around. If there is no debris around, try to put it in a shadowed area. It's going to be harder to spot. I see their tow launcher was able to disable us one hit, and we both killed each other. Both light armors are done. Okay, let's see what happens to spawn. We just died in the vehicle, so we know it's not going to be available, so there's no reason to spawn at our spawn. We'll spawn at Charlie. See what's going on at Bravo. I switch over to the assault unit for a little bit, just because without a vehicle, it's not too effective that you don't really need to run engineer. So, they were able to get Bravo before I was able to get there. They're trying to cap Alpha. We'll go over to Alpha to see if we can help out at all. And they were able to get me, so. Okay, I always got the revive though, so we're still good. Let's flank them around at Alpha. They're probably going to be pushing up from the side hallway or the main alleyway. That guy was going to flank, but I was able to get him before he got me. So what we're going to try and do is get them from behind, because they're probably going to be pushing up the Bravo, so hopefully we can catch them off guard a little bit. A good idea, if you don't see someone on your minimap, but you do see the revive icon more likely than not, an enemy is going to be pretty close around that because that's a recently deceased teammate. So you know something's going to be around there. That guy was able to get both of us with the DAO. I was low on health. I don't know about the other guy. He had just spawned in, but good for him. He got both of us. BMP is back, so we'll switch back over to engineer and spawn at deployment. You're also going to have to get used to how much faster the light armor is than the tank. With the boost on, the tank is going to max out at about 50 kph. Light armor is going to be able to go a little bit faster. Of course, it's lighter, has less armor. So I'm by myself right now. I tell Gambit to spawn in on me. This time he's going to run assault. I'll be the engineer, so I'll be responsible for repairs. And we'll circle around and try and capture Alpha. As you can see, the proxy scan is coming in handy a lot. I'm not sure why that assault unit was running towards us. That's one of the things you need to worry about. Sometimes they'll try and take you out and may try and make you think they're a support unit going to plant C4 maybe so that you'll ditch your vehicle. But you luck out sometimes, it's not a support unit. Sometimes you don't luck out and the support unit's able to get close enough and C4 you. That's why gunner is important, communication's important. Just make sure that you are in communication with your gunner. Light armor and tanks can be effective with only 2 drivers, or 2 occupants. Okay, so they're trying to recapture Alpha. They're actually trying to capture Charlie as well, but we're going to go to Alpha. See if we can stop the capture from happening. Let's see if there's anything else, I think, to mention about light armor and tanks. Just don't be afraid to get into the middle of combat. I know some drivers will stay back and maybe try and shoot helicopters down, but you're not going to be effective. You need to be in there, especially with the light armor. It is effective at close range and it's effective at capturing objectives. Don't be afraid of dying in your vehicle. It's better to die in the vehicle than to bail out of it and let the enemy team take it. If you have to, go down with the ship. So light armor on this map is really a patrol vehicle. Stay to the outside roads. You're responsible for Alpha and Charlie objectives. Let infantry take care of Bravo. Don't try and take your light armor down the alleyway. You can, but it's not effective that way. You're a sitting duck. So this is a pretty good exchange. I knew he was coming for us. I thought he was coming down the low road. I did not know he was coming down the high road. So he caught me off guard right there. But the match is almost over, so we die right before the match ends. That always sucks because it's one more kill that you get to see put on the scoreboard when the scoreboard's up. So that was a pretty good match. I did good, Gambit did good. Thanks to Gambit for helping me out with that and being an awesome gunner and designator. And if you guys have any more questions about how to effectively use your tank and light armor, let me know. I know that we didn't focus too much time on the tank today. Maybe we can get a gameplay where I just do the tank the entire round, hopefully a Caspian border. I'd say that's a little bit more advanced for tank drivers, but once you have mastered Firestorm, try Caspian border. It's a little bit tougher, but it's a good map. So thanks guys, and I will see you on the battlefield.